Hi folks, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Payal and I am a traveler who also loves to meet people. And I think a blend of both is where this concept of melting pot has come about. In my Melting Pot series, I will be talking to lots of inspiring people from different parts of the world and also from different cultures, whom I meet during all my travels. The common factor between these folks will be the desire to follow their passion and make it a way of life. So step into this melting pot and enjoy the chats. Hi folks, I'm back with yet another episode of A Melting Pot. This one is while I'm on my trip to Barcelona. I'm in conversation with the lovely Vaishali Dasgupta, co-founder of 2 Indian restaurants in the city of Barcelona and a modern cuisine restaurant in the party capital of the world, Ibiza. Hi Vaishali.
Hi Payal.
Thanks for taking some time out to talk to me today.
Oh, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, so before we talk about the restaurants and all of that, I'd love to hear about your journey from India to Spain, which I understand is your home now.
So basically what I wanted to say was I'm from the hospitality industry. I have worked with the Taj group of hotels. My husband and I, both of us, are also hospitality professionals, basically.
Okay.
Between the two of us, we had about 35 years of experience while in India. And the journey actually started when all of a sudden my husband left Calcutta and came down to the UK.
So both of you were in Calcutta?
In Calcutta, okay. I had delivered my second child, nice and pregnant, lactating, and with the hospitality, the hotel life, work as usual. Yeah. And my husband basically moved to the UK while the little one was about a month old. Okay, but I continued with the hotel industry. Okay. So the challenge was basically that he needed to establish himself, settle down, and it was just a one-off decision. It was nothing planned.
So did he come with a job? Or
No.
Okay.
It was a holiday that was like forced by one of the managers, saying that Taj had this rule of, if we worked a longer time or whatever, there were compensatory offs which had to be taken, and it just fell in place. So he was basically said, you've got about 53 days of holiday, you have to move out, go on holiday, do whatever you like. And then it just happened that he said, let me go and meet some family friend, and he landed in the UK. So it was just like a one-off thing, nothing planned. But yes, what we did was we sent him with some CVs and we said, try your luck. If you do get it, fine. Right. So he landed in London on the 3rd of September.
Which year was this?
This was 2001. Okay. I remember this because my daughter was 1 month old.
The younger one.
The younger one. Okay. And within, I think, 3 or 4 days, he appeared for a series of interviews. One of which basically said, start straight away. Starting date was 12th of September. And with accommodation and everything over the restaurant and right on Marble Arch. Oh, wow. So it was a fantastic place. It was an Indian restaurant. He was the manager. He was going to be the manager of that place. Right. And all was going fine. 11th September, Twin Towers happened. Okay. So everybody in the UK were all around the world, basically. People lost jobs and things like that. Yeah. But thankfully for us, Sanjay had his appointment letter. And everybody assured him that don't worry, you're joining on the 12th, come what may. Right. Even if the Twin Towers have fallen, doesn't matter, you still have your job. Right. So he started off and he continued, and we stayed, I continued with my Taj job in Calcutta for about 1.5 years. So I completed about 10 years there. And he had completed about almost 10 years too. But we lived 1.5 years apart till such time that he gave me the green signal, come down to London. Right.
So by then he kind of settled
down. And by the time that he settled down, we had got a house and he was somewhat established. Right. And we moved. Okay. So when we moved, I had imagined that, okay, I'm coming down to London. I have 2 little children. I'll be a lady of leisure. I will not work. But as you know, London and Tokyo happen to be the most expensive cities in the world. So when you really come down to reality, you realize that, no. Dreams are dreams, but when you're in the practical world, come down to life. So we did our calculations and we realized that, okay, I have to work.
Right.
Now, how do you work with 2 little kids?
Right.
So then came this brilliant idea that my parents were anyways with us. My parents had moved with me.
Okay.
To London, basically on holiday, nothing more.
Yeah.
Fortunately for us, my dad is in the airlines, and being an ex-pilot, he had these aviation passes, which, he's entitled to his years of service in the aviation industry. Right. So he came up with this idea that, look, in the UK, people can come, stay with you, help you, as family, basically looking after the grandchildren or, being together. Yeah. Since we are here, why don't we help you?
Right.
And you've got your in-laws also who could come down and help you.
So go get a job.
Basically. Go get a job. So basically, that's how it started. Okay. Right. And it wasn't long. I would say I was fortunate enough to, somebody sent out my CV from India. Right. And ultimately, I had interviews from the Savoy, from the Claridge's, all the 5-star hotels that one would dream of. Right. People were calling. Okay, and these are hotel chains that we had read in hotel management. Yeah. Okay, so for us, we were like, oh, okay, I'm going to the Claridge's. It was like a sense of pride going there for and actually being there and being interviewed or whatever. Yeah. Whatever happened for the best, because Claridge's and all these people offered the jobs, but I refused also on the account that I had 2 little kids. Right. And I couldn't have stayed on.
And you had to work shifts.
Yes. Okay. So that was a negative part. Right. Okay. And I don't know what happened. Somebody did see my CV floating around and called me. Mm-hmm. And I ultimately landed in the Radisson Edwardian Hotels, as a conference and banqueting manager in the Heathrow property, which is the largest convention center, which was the largest convention center once upon a time in the Heathrow area.
Okay.
So, and I was blessed. Okay. So, and that interview was like magic. Right. The guy didn't want to leave me, and it was just fun.
It was meant to happen.
Yes,
right?
It was meant to happen. Yeah. But I remember going for the interview and coming back, and my in-laws and my husband asked me, so what happened in the interview? And I said, look, I said this, and when it came down to salary, I said, look, I'm not going to go down to this level, I'm going to go down to that level, this level, and I need this kind of a package. So they said, you don't have a job and you're asking for this package. And I said, precisely, I don't have anything to lose. Right. Okay, but if I do get it, it'll be a good package. Right? So there's nothing to lose. Yeah. And having said that, about 2 weeks later, I got a call and I got the package that I wanted. Fantastic. So it was just perfect. Yeah. So anyways, so 3.5 years down that line, my husband and I, with the kids and, our parents coming down, in-laws coming down, we had fun in London. Mm-hmm. By the time we settled in London, there was a time when we came down to Spain. Right. On holiday. My cousin was here, and my cousin is still here with his family. And my brother was studying with ESA, which is basically the university. Yeah. One of the acclaimed universities here. Yeah. And when he was free, we came down for a weekend from London to Lloret, and from Lloret to here, to Barcelona. Okay. And of course, after 5 days of having Spanish food and tapas and things like that, that Indian in us came up and we said, okay, let's have some dal chawal. And the dal chawal wasn't...
Lentil and rice.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Lentil and rice. For the non-Indians, lentil and rice is like comfort food. Right. But anyways, besides that, I think we had seen somewhere that this restaurant, the only Indian restaurant then, I won't name it, but it was on Plaza Catalunya, basically was advertising for dosas. Now, dosas are, again, for the non-Indians, crepes, which are salty. It's a South Indian food, which is a delicious crepe had with coconut chutney and lentils. Right. Okay.
And stuffings as well.
And stuffings can be with or without, whatever. So we saw that dosas being advertised and all of us jumped. We had kids and they were like, yeah, let's go for it. So we, after touring Barcelona, we landed in this place and surprise, surprise, there were no dosas.
You're listening to a fusion of stories recounted for the first time ever by some fascinating people from across the globe with me, Payal, on this very unique and special podcast series, Melting Pot.
But of course, you got your Indian food, and we said, okay, let's just eat. So while we were sitting there, we ate, but we looked around and we saw that whatever was being served, whether you asked for a spinach dish or a tomato-based dish, all looked the same, but it was being named differently, and that I thought was very insulting. I mean, all of us who know Indian food, thought that was really wrong. Conning people. Into believing that this is a spinach based dish or this is a lentil which is had at home when it's not, is not correct. So I mean, the hospitality in us came out. The hoteliers decided to say that no, this cannot happen. And okay, so there was a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, but we ate the food. We went back home and we forgot about it. And of course we had our holiday. I mean, we were still having fun when in Forum, which is the other end of Barcelona, they advertised about an Asian festival. And this is in 2002. 2002, when we came down for a holiday. So 2002 we landed in Forum, which is at the other end of Barcelona, via metro and things like that, with two little kids and more kids.
To go for the Asian festival.
Asian festival. And that was a big thing then because there was no Asians, there was no Indian face, there was nothing at all. Surprise, surprise, land there and we see a huge stall of Rajasthan. Now, Rajasthan, for people who don't know, Rajasthan is the princely state in India, which is famous for its forts and palaces and things like that. And it's got a lot of history over there. While Sanjay and I, that means my husband and I, were in Taj, we had the opportunity in being in Jaipur, which is the capital of Rajasthan, for 2 years. And we absolutely with the Taj, and we absolutely loved the place. Basically, it was a huge difference between a city hotel and a palace hotel. So to give you an example of different experiences that you're saying, a city hotel, if you had to have a wedding in a city hotel, you would basically tick the boxes and say, okay, order these flowers, order the lights, the musicians, or whatever. In a palace hotel, it is the other way around. You think about horses coming down for the wedding ceremony. You order for elephants coming down. You order for lights on the fountain. You order for flowers, of course. And if it's hot, then you even order for AC. You don't have AC, so in those days we used to order for ice blocks. Fans in front of them. So basically behind them to push the air out. So these kind of things. So anyways, we see a stall of Rajasthan and we were like, yay, this is perfect. And my older daughter is actually born in Jaipur. So we said, hey, Anushka, that's your state. And the little one that she was 3 years old then. She went up and she started saying, hey, I was born in Jaipur. And the guy over there was like elated, literally elated. So now we kept chatting with him. He was happy to see some Indian faces.
But he was based in Barcelona?
No. He had come all the way from a village in Rajasthan. So imagine a villager being there. We were from the city and we could still relate to Barcelona. But he was like top of the world. And we said, okay, we've chatted enough with him. We should help him too. And we saw this cot, a rural cot, which is intertwined with threads. And we said, let's buy this. In those days, that was 30 euros. And which is a big amount. And we said, oh my God, 30 euros. But no, let's help him. So we bought the cot, basically because my brother was in ESA and he said, okay, Diwali is around the corner. Diwali is the festival of lights, the Hindu New Year. And he said, you know what? I need to throw a party with a lot of girls, a lot of friends coming down, and I'll make sure that this bed is the highlight of the thing. I'll make them sit here, I'll welcome my guests and things like that, and show them real India. So he said, yeah. Now we bought the bed. How would we take it back? Would the metro people hold us there? Because carrying a mattress, like carrying a cot, is like forbidden. But anyways, we smuggled it out and we managed to get the cot back home. Coming back home, the whole idea started. My brother said, hey, look, we went to this restaurant. We have a cot here. You guys have hospitality experience. I'm going to throw a Diwali party very soon. Why don't you guys set up a restaurant here? So we said, yeah, what else? But the little one, Anushka, was like, yes, let's go for it. She went up.
How old was she then?
She was 3.
Okay.
And then she started saying, so what will the name of the restaurant be? So my brother says, I don't know. I really don't know. But whatever it is, we will have a restaurant which will basically invite the local people, give them authentic flavors, and we will make it sound different. Okay? And come what may, we will have waitresses showing people the bimbi. Bimbi now is the belly button in Marathi. Okay? Which is also the umbilical, which is the belly button is basically the umbilical cord.
Right.
And it's actually the connection between a mother and a child.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So what we wanted to do was serve Indian food in an inviting ambience, but something which is connected to the roots and what a mother would give to her child, his or her child, and bring authenticity to the table.
Right.
It's not just food which is served on the table, but something which is made with love, passion, and a lot of thought behind this. It's not just food. It's nourishment, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that happened, and here we are, 14 years down the line.
So you tend to be in a habit of just uprooting yourself, making another place your homes. Are you going to do that with, or are you too rooted now in Barcelona?
I think we just now rooted in Barcelona, but then who knows, an opportunity comes up and we might establish ourselves with another restaurant somewhere else. Or,
but I think home
would remain Barcelona. Yes.
Okay. And so, I mean, now that you've got Bembi, and then how did Rangoli happen?
Yeah.
Because that's your other restaurant here, right?
So basically...
and it's a different location from
Yes.
Bembi. Yeah.
So we've got 2 restaurants at the moment in Barcelona. Bembi is in the city center near Passeig de Gràcia, and it's near the shopping street, basically. It has a capacity of about 64 people, and it has a fine dining kind of a touch. So it's more intimate. And Rangoli is by the beach, Barceloneta beach.
Right.
It overlooks the famous beach, and it's a very hot spot during the summer session.
Right.
And it has a terrace. It has a terrace and 2 internal salons.
So you have a lot of walk-ins there.
Walk-ins there from during the summertime, of course.
Yeah.
But the client profile is different, and it's also great for groups. So if you're having a group lunch or a group dinner for about 250 people,
Right.
we could easily accommodate that.
Right.
And people love it because having a terrace opposite the beach, while you're having your meals, you can actually see what's happening on the Mediterranean front.
Yeah.
Okay, and that happened 4 years after Bembi. So basically, Bembi is 14 years old,
and then
and Rangoli is 8 years old.
Okay.
And recently, the latest is that we are, by February 2020, we are going to come up with another restaurant in Barcelona, which is going to be slightly different. It's not going to be on the Bembi and Rangoli concept, just serving Indian food, but Indian cuisine with a twist. The concept is being worked on,
Okay.
and the design is going to be different.
Yeah.
But after 4 years after Rangoli, we also went down for a vacation to the US, and that's when Ibiza happened.
So what's the connection with the US and Ibiza?
Whenever we go on vacation, I think ideas come up. So we saw people dancing on the South Beach in Miami, and we went to these restaurants, and we were sitting there, and we said, "Oh, this concept is cool," and and we thought, how would we improvise that? And we brought that to Ibiza. Okay. So Ibiza, we have another restaurant, which is a tropical restaurant, a capacity of about 300 people. It's got a patio. It's on the beach of Playa de Embosa, right next to Ushuaia and Hard Rock Hotel, which is the happening strip.
Spots, right? Yeah.
And the food over there is all tropical. So what do I mean by tropical is everything that's on the Tropic of Cancer, which means Jamaican, Mexican, Thai, Indian, of course.
So would you call it? So is it fusion or
It's
fusion?
It's fusion.
So do you kind of blend like Jamaican with Indian?
No, as of now, no. But
So
we've got all the options there.
Okay.
Because a lot of honeymooners from India do come down, and then just like us, after a lot of
Indian food.
yes, so they're looking for the dal roti or the paneer butter masala, and if you have the UK people coming down, they want their chicken tikka masala or the saag paneer or whatever it is.
That's what they identify food with.
Yes. And we got a lot of emphasis on cocktails and shisha, which is happening there, and of course we have DJ there. The cocktails there are fantastic, and we plan to establish that as a brand. It's called Momark Tropical.
Okay, so that's what your third
restaurant. That's 5 years old. No, we've got 3 restaurants, 2 in Barcelona at the moment, 1 in Ibiza.
No, the one that you're opening up in Barcelona.
Yes.
Is it going to also
it's going to be
a different identity?
Absolutely. A different identity. And Rangoli is basically 8 years old. You asked me what was Rangoli all about. So basically, while we were thinking of names for Rangoli, lots of names came up. And we thought the best people to ask for options would be our clients. So we threw up names. We gave them names like Asha, we gave them Maya, we gave them different names. And everybody thought Rangoli was different, and when you explain what Rangoli means, they found it fascinating. So Rangoli is actually mandala for anybody in Europe or the US, but it's basically a design which you create yourself. You fill it in with your own colors. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to fill in colors in the food, bring in colors in your life through our food. And that's how Rangoli was named.
You're listening to a fusion of stories recounted for the first time ever by some fascinating people from across the globe with me, Payal, on this very unique and special podcast series, Melting Pot. Okay, that's interesting. So, as a foreigner, how easy or tough was it for you to set up these restaurants? Because I remember you telling me some time ago that you didn't speak a word of Spanish, and here if you have to do a business, you absolutely need to know Spanish, right? So I mean, how was it? Were people welcoming? How easy was it for you to establish these properties? Because you have to lease, the space, and you have to figure out the suppliers. There's a lot that goes into it, right?
Yeah. So all that homework was done by my husband, while I was happily sitting in the UK. But yes, I'm a person who is more adventurous than him.
Right.
So I was the one who said yes. When this concept came up of Bimbi, it was my brother who instigated the whole idea into our head, saying that you guys have your hoteliering experience, you need to establish yourself and things like that, and so we went all out for it. And mind you, we were both in well-established jobs. But then I said that nothing doing, just go for it types. So how did it start? Was my husband basically initially moved out came down on holiday from the UK every 2 months and stayed with my brother for about 2 days, and the 2 days were basically well spent in moving around from this restaurant to another restaurant.
The Indian restaurants,
not Indian restaurant, general restaurants, to understand the culture, the eating habits, what would people prefer, things like that. So I mean, when you have a startup, something like this, where you have no idea about the language, no idea about the culture, you need to really see what's happening. You can't really come down and say, suppose it's something like a Filipino coming down to India and saying, I want to establish an Indian restaurant there without knowing anything, which is not done. You'll fall flat on your face.
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically, Sanjay was here, flying in, flying out on his off day, maybe taking another off day while he was at work in London. And my brother was basically taking him here or there. Mind you, they were bachelors over here. So stringent, you had to be cautious on the money that you would spend. And it was basically homework being done in detail to how what is the kind of restaurant that you're looking for. And we found out a lot of things, which is so unlike eating in Spain is so unlike what happens in the world. For instance, in the UK and in India, when we go to restaurants, we'll find a whole lot of things on the table, right from the chutneys to the papad to the onions to the salt. Not found in Spain at all, because salt and pepper and chutney is on the table, and adding that to your food is an insult to the chef. That means he doesn't know how to cook. You know, you are adding, okay, you're free to add in your salt and pepper, but don't add it before you've tasted it, is what I meant.
Right.
And then onions, raw onions is had only in India, UK also, of course. But over here, no, that will smell.
Smell, yeah.
Okay. What else? I've found out a lot of other stuff. For instance, in the UK, when I was there, people would leave after work, go for a drink, and then go out for dinner.
Yeah.
Most of the time, by the time we reached dinner, we were nice and high.
Right.
Over here, it's the other way around. People come here, they have to go out for a drink, or they have to go out to a disc. They'll make sure that they have a hearty meal, and then they go out for a gin and tonic. Okay, it's unheard of people, leaving from work and landing into a bar.
Right.
Okay. These kind of things.
So I mean, basically, looked at the cultural differences.
Yes, cultural difference.
Wanted to make sure that you were able to, or not able to, but you wanted to adapt to the local culture so that it was easier for you to kind of get into it, right? And slip into it.
Yes, and Anjan also made sure, my brother basically made sure that he introduced Sanjay to people who knew English but could only speak in Spanish.
So that's how he was able to
pick up the language. And of course, for me, it was like I adopted the rule that after 2 glasses of wine, you speak Spanish fluently. So that's what I live by. It's that.
Actually, I feel the same. In my 5 years living in Barcelona, that's how I kind of managed. So that's interesting. Just to sum up, so what kind of clientele do you have? I mean, you did mention that, Rangoli has a very different concept, and therefore you have a different kind of clients going there. But what about Bembi? What kind of a clientele do you have? What's in terms of, the different... when I come to Bembi, I see a lot of local people here, and probably they keep coming back. But do you have others as well from different parts of the world who come here, on a holiday? How is it that they get to know about Bembi? Because your restaurant is like 90%, or sometimes it's even 100% occupancy, right?
Yes. So thankfully, God has been kind with us. Mondays also like Saturdays, so that is good. Basically, the kind of client that we have in Bembi and in Rangoli is different. Okay, as I said, caters to a lot of groups. Okay, Indian groups during the Mobile World Conference or any pharmaceutical conference or whatever. They love Rangoli. Okay, because of the food, and second because of the location, and because of the space.
Step into a bar after.
Yes. And. Bembi has, and those who've had Bembi and Rangoli food, they have their preferences. There are a lot of people who love Rangoli food, and then they compare it with Bembi food, and they say, "Oh no, Bembi is better."
Right.
Okay. The interiors of Bembi is different, is more fine dining, and we've had a lot of people who like ministerial delegations coming here, a lot of eminent personalities here, Bollywood actors coming down. Okay, and other eminent people whom I'll not mention names because of confidentiality purposes. But they feel that if you have to seal a deal, best to come to Bembi. Okay, and we are very popular amongst women that's a fact for sure. Older women, and many a times it's interesting to see the restaurant filled with different classes of women, different age groups. I don't know what they find very romantic here, but there is something which adds to the zing.
And I also feel that you bring in a lot to Bembi. From what I have seen, you spend so much of your time here and you interact with the clients. And I mean, I've seen you do that. And I think that gives that very personal touch. And you talk to everybody in all the locals, you speak to them in Spanish, and you're at every table. And I think that kind of hospitality, that personal touch, does make a difference.
I like to talk, so that's where if I'll be standing quietly in one corner, that's not me, okay? But that's not me only. No, I mean, it's the whole team.
Warmth, it kind of wants you to come back because you feel like you're being welcomed. And then the food is good, so a combination of both. I think service and food together make.
Yes, but it's not just the service and the food, it's also the personal touch. So if you empathize with somebody, you mention their names. For instance, somebody comes back and you remember what he'd had a couple of...
And then you offer it again.
Or you say that you had this last time and you liked it, and or you found something spicy, or, that gives a personal touch. But having said that, I think our entire team, starting from Andrea, who's sitting right there, to Chef Negi, to Sanjay, to Anjan, who founded the thing, this concept basically. Asha Miro, who was there, who's an eminent Catalan writer. She helped us in marketing. Everybody, put in their thoughts, contributed to the whole making of Bimbi, basically. So I would say it was a multi-ethnical background also, which brought together a lot of experience on the table. Right. So that's how it is.
That's really inspiring. And now I'm going to wait for, the other outlet to open. And then you never know, a year later, Vaishali is going to say, oh, guess what? We discovered this and we've got this new concept.
And I went on another vacation and there's another one coming up.
There's another one coming up. I mean, if that happens, I'd be really happy. But good luck with whatever you're doing. And, I really look forward to coming to your new place the next time I'm in Barcelona.
Sure, definitely. And that's going to be a different concept. It's going to have a lot of emphasis on cocktails.
Nice.
And nothing compared to Bimbi and Rangoli.
Looking hopefully to it. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vaishali.
Thank you.
Barcelona's a city that I absolutely love and always feels like home when I come back here. Wish, actually, to one day also make it my home. But that aside, talking to Vaishali has been a fun experience. She is super spunky and full of beans. Both Sanjay and Vaishali have really made a mark with their Indian restaurants, Bimbi and Rangoli. Both are worth a visit when you are in Barcelona and in a mood for some authentic Indian food. I'm also really excited for their new venture. I'm pretty sure it's going to be as much a success as the others. This is Payal signing off for now. Another exciting episode from some other part of the world awaits you, so do stay tuned.